another planet? Is Janet from 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 another planet?
Hello, everyone. Welcome to After Hours. I guess I should play this real quick.
The following program is rated TV MA LSV. It contains strong language, sexual situations, and violence. It is intended only.
There we go. That's good enough. Because I've had so many of my friends who've been demonetized or had their channel taken down because of copyrights and other things like that. So I'm not going to be playing music or anything like that besides, what I just did. But tonight I want to talk about a few things that is truth. Things are finally starting to come out. It's just that you have to look for it. You have to search for it, or you have to be lucky enough to have one of your friends or someone else send it to you, right? Basically, to find out anything good, the good things that really are happening. Yeah, I'm not saying that, people are being arrested left and right, and we're going to have military tribunals and all that, hoping that's coming. But as of right now, we look at what happened. We have Congress that wouldn't even get rid of Obamacare. We just have a bunch of lame duck, fake Republicans. They're not even conservative. They lean more to being libertarians or Democrats. So it's like, we're lucky we've had any of this stuff happen. And the sad truth is that we got a Congress that doesn't give a shit. They're making their money. They're getting what they want. They don't care whether you and I get what we want. And they don't care whether or not we have to pay more in taxes, or we do without, or our veterans go without. It's disgusting. It really is. It's like no matter what Trump does, they don't want to help them. They don't want to help the people that voted America first. They don't want us to get what we voted for. And they're doing everything they can. Because I remember back after Obamacare got put in, they all ran on it. They all said, oh, we want to go in there and get rid of it. We're going to go in there and get rid of it. We're going to go in there and get rid of it. And they never did shit. And they're still not doing shit. Not enough of them voted for it. And if I were you, I'd get the list of everybody who voted against getting rid of it to give you the cash and put it in your own hands so you can put it in your account and pick and choose where you want to spend the money instead of giving it directly to the insurance companies. I think you should look up their names and make sure they don't get reelected, because they're screwing us every which way they can, period. That's all they hear about is what they can get out of us. And I'm sick and tired of that shit. I really am. I'm really tired of that type of stuff, because it doesn't matter how many executive orders that Trump signs and how many people get arrested when we have corrupt judges that are just going to throw it out, drag it through court for 10 years, all that stuff. And we already found that out when Comey got indicted. You see, I'm telling you, we got to get our people in our state to do their damn jobs. I don't know how else to fix it. But I want to show some good things that are happening tonight. And this first story I almost started crying watching it. It was so sweet of this guy. And the sad truth is that because he's a man, he couldn't pick her up and put her in his car and drive her to school. This guy was walking down the road or driving down the road and saw a little 6-year-old girl walking in the snow in Detroit to her school with no shoes on. And her coat, I don't even think her coat was zipped up, but we're going to watch this video and you're going to watch this hero, because that's what he is. He took time out of his life, because he could have just walked on by or drove on by or whatever and ignored it, like lots of people apparently did, because if he's the only one that walked her 10 blocks to school from when he found her. So we don't even know how far she had already walked before that. But it's just sickening that we have this kind of stuff that happens every day. And thank God above that someone as good as this man is the one that helped her get to school, because it could have been any sick motherfucker, basically, that just took that little girl and we'd never see her again. Another little statistic on a blip, on a radar that nobody gives a shit about. But this guy did. And man, I wish somebody could give him some kind of award. I don't know who he is, but he's awesome. And I just want to share his video. Make sure it's turned up. There we go. Here we go.
By herself, cold, man. Who fucking daughter is this, bro? Thank God I seen her. Herself, how old is you? 6? Man. If that ain't crazy, bro, daughter is this, bro. I need y'all motherfucking ass beat. I tell you that. Whoever daughter this is, y'all let your daughter walk out here with no fucking hat, no shoes. Thank God I fucking seen her. There's sick ass people out here. Thank God I seen this little girl, bro. And this shit got me so mad and angry. This shit got me so mad and angry, bro. Nigga got this little precious little girl just out here walking by her fucking self, bro. I ain't want to put her in my truck, bro. So I got out and walked with her, made sure she got to where the fuck she going. Bro, that motherfuckers got this little girl out here just walking, bro. It's fucking crazy, bro. This sick ass motherfuckers out here and people don't fucking care. That'd be the crazy part. Motherfuckers be out here don't give a fuck. I hate people like that. I hate people. I hate people with a fucking passion, bro. Oh, I'm so happy I seen this little girl. I'd have felt so bad she would have ended up on the news. I don't play about fucking kids, man. Bro, I just seen her walking, bro. She said she'd go to this school. I'm trying to make sure she go to this school. I already called the police. I'm gonna sit here and make sure because if she not, I'm going to the police go.
Yep, I got you. Baby girl, who's the teacher? Miss Alexander? Okay, go on up there.
That's the teacher here?
Yeah, that's her teacher here.
Come on.
Yeah, I'm glad you feel personal about that.
Yeah, man, because whoever her fucking parents is, that's fucked up, bro.
Okay.
Look, I just seen her walking. I don't know what. I'm trying to make sure she is student here.
Okay. Yeah, she is.
She is?
Uh-huh.
Y'all know her?
Yeah.
All right,
Okay,
appreciate
thank you,
it.
baby.
She probably scared because she was walking for about 10 blocks.
Where's your sister?
She probably scared. So many people just pulled up on that little girl. I'm so happy I seen her.
Thank you, baby. God will bless you too.
I'm so happy I seen her.
Yes, thank you. You safe now, okay? Your sister here with you?
Damn, that's crazy, man. I didn't want to put her in my truck because I didn't look like I was trying to do. Damn, dog.
Bless
Damn,
you.
that shit just hurt me, bro. This motherfucker sick as fuck out here, dog. Got their kids out here walking, man. God damn, that's crazy, dog.
But look at him, a grown man shedding a tear for a child he doesn't even know. But he took time out of his life to make sure she got to school. And he didn't touch her or anything because he was afraid if he touched her or put her in his car or picked her up or anything, that what it would look like. You know, isn't it sad that that's where we are in society, that a man can't help or assist a child that's barefoot walking in that weather? It's sad. It's sad. And I think it would probably be okay if a woman was to do it. If a woman was to find a child and take her to school, that there probably wouldn't be such a, the finger pointing or the finger wagging or whatever you want to call it, or a stigma added to it. But bless this man, whoever he is. And I shared the link in the chat. I'd really appreciate it if you guys share this, because I would love to see this man get something, get an award. I don't know what. We need more people like this man. That's what we need. We need more people like him in our country, in every state, in every single town that actually has a heart and cares about other people. And I really hope that he gets something or some kind of recognition from the people in Detroit. And the parents of this little girl, if they weren't out running the streets looking for her, screaming for her, driving around or whatever, or hadn't called the cops or something, or they just let their little 6-year-old daughter walk to school in this weather with no shoes on and with all the predators and stuff out, something should be done about that, because that's another thing that this man might have potentially saved her life from traffickers or pedophiles or who knows what. So God bless him. And I'm so happy that he did that. I wish we had more of that. But the next thing I want to bring up is something else. These are all things that I think are good things. And I'm happy that we're sharing a few good things with other people. But this is another one right here. Here we go. This is some more truth that's coming out. And that one was, truth that we do have good people still, helping others that they don't even know, and taking time out of their life to help another person that they didn't have to. I love that. I think that's wonderful. That shows that there's still goodness in every city. I mean, this is in Detroit too, so that's great. But this is something else I wanted to share, because this is a huge win. It says University of Pennsylvania apologizes for letting Leah Thompson, a biological male, compete in women's swimming. And I'm not going to read the whole thing. I'm going to let this lady talk to you guys. So here we go.
Good evening, Florida, and welcome back to Coastal Conservative News. Today, we have a major development that's sending shockwaves throughout the world of college sports. Another big win in Trump's administration. We just can't seem to win enough. The University of Pennsylvania, that's Biden's University of Pennsylvania, has officially agreed to issue a formal apology for allowing Leah Thomas, or as we're going to refer to him from now on, William Thomas, a biological male who identifies as a female, to compete on the women's swim team. That's not all. In a stunning update, UPenn has also committed to sending personalized letters of apology to each female swimmer displaced by this injustice. I'm not sure that they're going to accept just nicely worded letters, but that's a good gesture. That's right. They are finally admitting the harm was real. Guys, this comes after a settlement with the U.S. Department of Education following an investigation into potential Title IX violations. Under the agreement, the university has agreed to strip William Thomas's title, the swimming records and titles, restoring them to the female athletes who earned them biologically but were displaced. In addition, UPenn will adopt new biology-based, science-based, go figure, definitions of sex in athletics, aligning with the Biden to Trump era reversal of Title IX guidance. The resolution is being hailed by conservatives as a monumental victory for fairness in women's sports. Now, Secretary of Education Linda McMahon, who heads the Office of Women's Sports Equity under the Trump-aligned education overhaul, issued a fiery statement today, calling this a, quote, a win for every girl who lost a spot on the podium, a scholarship, or a title just for being born female, end quote. This isn't just a win for those who lost their medals. It's a win for every young girl who's trained, sacrificed, and shown up to compete with fairness and integrity, only to be sidelined by a politically correct agenda thanks to the Biden administration. This follows months of public pressure from former NCAA athletes like Riley Gaines, who we love, who have fought tirelessly. They fought for biological fairness in women's sports. Now, the White House yesterday released a new video featuring reactions from top female athletes across the country, applauding the resolution and urging more schools to follow suit. It's courage, right? One person starts and then others follow suit. Let's take a look.
My name is Paula Scanlon, and I'm a former swimmer from the University of Pennsylvania. My name is Riley Gaines. I was a swimmer at the University of Kentucky.
I was permanently injured at the hands of a man when I was forced to play against him in a high school volleyball game.
I was forced to compete against a biological male on my middle school track team.
I had to compete against two biological males throughout all 4 years of high school. Trump's admin and the Department of Education have gotten the University of Pennsylvania not just to apologize for what they did to me and other female athletes that were forced to compete against and alongside this male athlete, but they also got them to change their policies and to take down his records from the board, which is a great win.
The stories we heard brought tears to all of our eyes. It was powerful. It was moving. I'm so excited for the announcement from Secretary McMahon and President Trump today as they stand at the forefront of this issue for women and girls everywhere.
And I am so thankful that we finally have an administration in office who's willing to stand up and ensure that no other girl has to experience the pain and heartbreak I went through.
I'm just very excited that the Trump administration is taking action to protect girls.
We're fighting for the next generation, young girls like my daughter. So just very, very grateful and excited for what this means.
And now that we've seen UPenn step up, guys, we have a message for the rest of the country. What about Maine? Governor Janet Mills, remember Trump called her out during a governor's luncheon? We're calling you out right here on CCN. Your state remains one of the worst offenders when it comes to pushing gender ideology over biology, over biological reality, really, in sports and in schools. If UPenn can admit their mistake, why can't you? The American people are watching, and every young girl in Maine deserves the same protections as the girls at UPenn. It's time to put truth over politics, guys, like we do here on CCN every day, and actually to put biology over ideology. Guys, that's it for today's breaking news. If you're tired of the spin and hungry for the truth, you've come to the right place. Follow us here. We bring you the headlines that they try to bury. We bring you the voices that they try to silence. And we bring you the facts that they fear. Stay informed, guys. Stay bold, stay free. This is Coastal Conservative News, where truth still matters.
Yes, finally, we're starting to see good things starting to happen. But you have to search for it. You have to dig around because the news doesn't want to report anything good like that for some reason. I have no clue why, but it just seems like if you want anything good, you got to go out and find it. And that's what I've tried to do. I was just trying to go through and find everything I could that was good news, because I'm not going to play it on the Friday Night Shit Show. It's especially since it's about women, the wokeness crap and things like that, or child endangerment and things like that. I don't usually try. I try not to put it on the shit show. That's mostly like all, political stuff. Even though this involves political stuff, it's just not the same thing. But I wanted to show some things like that. Well, this is, I wanted to play this because I wanted you to remember what this person said. over and over and over again as we're finding out that safe and effective really meant cancer and myocarditis, right? I just wanted to just send this reminder out because we're starting to hear the truth from doctors, hospitals, and other people about stopping giving this vaccine and to believe some of these people finally.
Again, we have experience with this type of vaccine in billions of people. It's a safe vaccine. Of course, with the mRNA, there's a very, very, very low risk, particularly in young men, of getting a myocarditis. But if you look at the risk of myocarditis from COVID itself is greater than the risk of the vaccine. Again,
what's really sad to me still is the fact that everyone that I know that got the shot had supposedly had COVID multiple times. I never had it, and I had one blood test to see if I had it, even though I didn't have any symptoms. They wouldn't even really see me in the emergency room because I was nauseous, and I ended up being exposed to Raid. You know, I sprayed it on the ground to kill a bunch of ants and didn't think about it and wiped it up with my hands. And I ended up laying in bed for 4 days nauseous, and I couldn't eat or anything. So that's what it ended up being. And I didn't have COVID. So I made them take my blood, and I wouldn't let them stick anything up into my sinus cavity. So I was thankful for that. But I'm so thankful that stuff's starting to come out and that they're going to stop forcing people to get this stupid shot against their will. But I wanted to share this because we do not give our police officers enough recognition for what they do. Okay. Every day you drive up and down the road going to work, and what do? We see a cop on the side of the road, you take your foot off the gas, or you, oh shit, I'm going to get a ticket, or this kind of stuff. Or you get a fuzzbuster in your car, or whatever it is you do, and you complain about going, 5 or 6 miles over the speed limit just so you can try to get to work a little quicker. Instead of leaving a little earlier, we blame the cops. Well, guess what? The cops really are out there to try to protect us in our towns from what happened to that little girl that you seen, things like that, but also for speeders. All these people that are drinking and driving, smoking pot or taking pills or whatever else, and driving in a car, or driving a vehicle that they shouldn't be driving because they don't know the rules of the road, and killing families while they're driving on the road when they shouldn't even be driving. And our cops are out there, and a lot of them are out by themselves. And they pull someone over because they have a broken tail light or because they're speeding and things like that. And I can tell you right now, almost every state that I know of, they don't tell their they tell their police officers not to worry if they're going 10 miles over the speed limit, unless it's in a school zone or it's like a big difference. But on the interstate where it's 75, you're not their number one choice because you're going 5 or 10 miles over the speed limit. They're going to go for someone either because of their driver's license has been when they see it go by, or because they're really going really fast. So I saw some stupid comments from a few people on this post, but I just want you to watch this and the threat that our cops go under just to try to get someone's driver's license stuff. Because you remember, when they're pulling this person over, they don't know if they're high. They don't know if they're running from a crime. They don't know what they just did at their house, whether they beat their wife to death, killed someone. They have no idea. This person is a total stranger. And they're trying to just pull them over, stay out of the road so they don't endanger other people, and get your information. And if you have nothing to hide, you hand over your stuff, and you end up most of the time just driving off. But this is what this police officer had to go through. And I want you to watch it to the end if you can, because it shows you the emotional roller coaster basically that this cop just went through thinking he was going to die. And that's why this kind of stuff is important, that we see it, because we have to understand what not to do when you get pulled over. You do what you ask by the police officer, and we'll work it out. Because if they are doing what they're not supposed to do, then, well, you have the right to sue them or, you know, defend yourself. But this gentleman took it way too far. Here we go.
Yep. Yep. Stay down. Stay down. Stay down. Hey, Camden, shots fired. Shots fired, Camden. Stay down. Do not give up. Stay down. Stay down. Stay down. Camden, shots fired. Suspect down. You send me help. Stay down. Stay down. Stay down.
Another police officer like him.
What's your name? What's your name? You're good. Get up. Come on, get up. Hey. I'm not taking you sit here. You're good. Hey, you good, man? You're good. Get him checked out and get him out of here to the car stuff. Yep. Sonny. Get him squad, get him checked out. We'll get him out of here. We'll leave the car here. How many squad people we got up there? We can go ahead and check him out. They just got here. Okay. These two ran up. Yep. That's good. After that.
Does that look like a cop that wanted to hurt somebody? It doesn't to me. It looks like a guy that thought he was going to die. He thought this guy was going to break his neck. And that he was, I'm just thankful that he was trained. And from some of the things that I read in the chat afterward, connected to the video, it said that he had just committed a crime. I don't know if they died or not. And that's one reason why he was not going to go down without a fight. And this cop that pulled over by himself had to do something to protect himself. And he didn't know what this person had already done. But the thing is that every time I see a cop, if I had money, extra money, whenever I have extra money and I happen to go to lunch and I see a few police officers, I buy their meal. I don't go and tell them. I just go up and say, I want to pay for their meal. And then I leave. The thing is that I don't know. I know I couldn't do it. I know I couldn't be a nurse. I don't think I could deal with some of the things they have to deal with on a daily basis of people that come in. But I can definitely tell you right now, police officers do not make enough money. They don't treat them with the respect they deserve. Because remember, this guy, I don't know if he's married or anything, but a police officer that's married with 2-3 kids, whatever, they might get a little bit of money, but it only lasts so long. And when you have kids that got to go to, you want them to go to college and all the things that you think you want for your own kids, that's all these people want. You know, paramedics, firemen, and police officers. And I wanted to play this because I really wanted people to see the emotional roller coaster this one gentleman went through simply because he pulled someone over, whether they were speeding or whatever. I don't know the content of exactly why he pulled them over, but I'm pretty sure he pulled them over for that, an infraction of some sort, because I don't think a single police officer by himself would be pulling over an armed robber or anything like that. So the thing is that if you see a police officer out, say hello, say thank you, say something. You don't have to pay him money or anything like that, but we need to start thanking people, our military veterans, our firemen, our police officers, and our paramedics and nurses. All these people, they deserve to get some respect. And I'm just thankful that we have good people still out there that are willing to do a job that without them, who's going to do it? You know, I don't know. I don't know who would, but I've seen 3 or 4 reports of people being saved from their burning vehicles and just all kinds of different things. And it just makes me proud of them, all of them. Anyone that's willing to. Hey, Shadow, thank you for joining us tonight. It's willing to take this type of job, not knowing if today is going to be their last day when they get up in the morning and kiss their wife goodbye and go to work. You know, because just one car that they pull over could be the last day they have. And I just want you guys to think about that. I want all of us to think about it. And if you are a police officer or were a police officer or any of those things, thank you so much. And I'm thankful that we have people like you that are willing to do those types of jobs to protect other people, total strangers. And, you know, I'm just proud. I just want to share that one. But it's tough to see that type of thing happen to our, you know, our men and women that become police officers. And I wish we never had to send a car out ever with one cop in it. So I just think it's not good. Not because I think every single person is a bad guy, but it only takes one. It only takes one person like that one that we just watched. I mean, I just thought he was going to break his neck. I really did. But thankfully didn't. But this is right here, another little tidbit to show you that good things are coming. And we just have to be proud and, you know, be proud of our what they're doing, that they're uncovering this stuff, and be patient. You know, try to be a little bit more patient because the stuff is coming out. And a lot of this, we have to remember, will have to be done in the state that they did this stuff to. If they broke laws and were embezzling money and things like that, I think depending on where the money came from and what state they're in, things like that, we'll just have to let them hopefully take care of it through the states, unless it's federal crime. But the fact that it's coming out now, to me is like huge, and I'm thankful for that. But I wanted to play this, and then I have another one I want to play after this one. It has to pertains to a lot of the same thing.
So starting on Monday, December 1st, Minnesota will become the central talking point in mainstream media because of what has transpired over the course of the past week. We had the bombshell article by Christopher Rufo and others in City Journal laying out how taxpayer dollars through Autism Center fraud was being funneled to Somalia and specifically al-Shabaab terrorist organizations. Trump makes moves to go and end temporary protected status, and this thrusts Minnesota into the spotlight. On top of that, we have the horrific tragedy that took place on Friday with a targeted attack by an individual from Afghanistan who came in under Joe Biden after his botched withdrawal of Afghanistan, targeting those 2 members of our National Guard. Further bringing attention to the issue of Somali immigration here in Minnesota, and specifically the Somali community ties to fraud. Then the New York Times over the weekend puts forward an article basically tossing Governor Tim Walz appropriately under the bus for everything that I just mentioned regarding fraud, saying this is all happening under his watch. In the meantime, Walz simply ignores all of this, continues to post on random nonsense that is completely separate from everything that I'm talking about right now and the most important issues facing Minnesotans today. I've said it before, I'm going to say it again. There is a high probability that Governor Tim Walz is not the Democrat nominee for governor next year. The question is, who do they replace Walz with? But the baggage is piling up right now, and the ground underneath Governor Tim Walz's feet is crumbling. And it was inevitable that this was going to happen. The amount of fraud that has been allowed to happen here in Minnesota, you can only do that for so long until it gets exposed. Now, where all of this goes, I do not know at this point in time. But this is what needs to happen. And as I've said on so many of the other issues that we've been facing this year nationwide, when it comes to fraud here in Minnesota and what we're dealing with and what's now exposed, the only way out is through. And if Trump makes good on sending in Immigrations and Customs Enforcement and Border Patrol to go and start rooting out those that are here illegally, especially those who came in from Somalia through marriage fraud, yeah, you watch. Minnesota will be ground zero when it comes to our national political discourse and news coverage regarding politics from now until the end of the year. And we'll be covering it every single step of the way on my weekly radio show, Monday through Friday, 6 until 9 a.m. Central Time, or you can get caught up on the podcast on the iHeartRadio app. Follow me here, too. I'd appreciate it. Thanks.
Yeah. See, more and more people are using TikTok, Snapchat even, Kick. I'm trying to think of all these places. Rumble, X, Facebook. Even though I don't have Facebook, and I'm probably never going to get Facebook again because I think I can't stand him, and I will not give him one penny in ad revenue by having a Facebook page. I just won't. He is disgusting, and I'm closing out tonight with something from him. He's disgusting. I just can't stand him. The lizard guy, or whatever you want to call his name. He just makes me want to throw up. But this is something else that has to do with this whole Tim Walz bullshit. Because you got to remember, because Tim Walz was the governor, he's the reason why all the Somali bullshit was able to just, have a, chick, whatever, just pass out the checks, whatever you want to do, keep bringing them in. And it was last Friday, I showed a guy, a whistleblower from Minnesota, talking about how a big company, that's a food processing company that makes a buttload of food, cans it or bags it or whatever it does and ships it all over the United States, brought in a bunch of Somalis to work in their business, their warehouses and stuff, that were just defecating all over the place. And they were washing their privates, their genitals in the sinks and stuff. And they kept posting signs and whatever else. But I guarantee you, the people running that place don't eat any of that food. Because just think about it. That's disgusting. But they don't care if you eat it. They'll take your money. So, that's disgusting. And all of these people are responsible. Bringing people in so they can pay them, 4 people the same price they'd pay one employee, and then you and I, the taxpayer, are the one covering to pay for their food, through food benefits, their free housing, all that stuff was on us. And now we're eating their food. We're eating their food that who knows what did. Oh, just disgusting. I've been trying to buy as fresh as much as I can anyways. But all of this stuff that's coming out is just repulsive and disgusting, all so that these people could have another mansion or a yacht or, more furs for their girlfriends and their wives, diamonds, nice vacations, whatever, or nice cars. It's disgusting to think that these people come here and they just took a bulldozer and just going over all of the taxpayers and just scooping up the money and putting it in their own accounts and putting them in accounts overseas. Like right now that I showed last week that the Obamas now own a mansion in London, and they've already transferred a buttload of their assets over there. I wonder why all of a sudden they decide that they don't want to live in America. They're going to start living overseas. Well, it's because they're all getting caught with their pants down around their ankles, and they don't know what might happen. But it's scary when we don't even have a Congress that will even get rid of Obamacare when they have it wide open. It's disgusting, because the fact is they're doing exactly what they want. They're doing whatever they want, insider trading, whatever they want to do. They're doing it because they can get away with it. And nothing's going to happen to them. That's how they feel. But they can openly run as a communist and a socialist in the United States of America and win. I never thought anything like this would happen in my lifetime. But that's where we are, people. And if we don't start fighting and kicking these people out of office, taking back our cities and towns, what are we leaving for our children? What are we going to leave for our grandchildren? Are they going to even be free? Are they even going to be able to grow up, marry who they want, and get a job doing what they want? If they want to be a plumber, or if they want to be a doctor or a lawyer or a nurse or a truck driver, are they going to be able to do that? Or is the government going to say, well, you're going to do this and you're going to do that, like they do in China and in other countries, communist countries? But I'm going to play this. I love Waters, but I'm going to play this for everybody. So here you go.
Somali pirates in Minnesota looted us for $1 billion with a B. And that doesn't count all the welfare we handed out after importing them here. And now it's time for a refund.
You told me to look into Minnesota and their fraud on visas and their programs. 50% of them are fraudulent, which means that wacko Governor Walz either is an idiot or he did it on purpose. And I think he's both, sir. We're going to remove them and we're going to get our money back.
The Somalis are upset that the free money and fraud are coming to an end.
We need leaders who will invest in our neighbors, not attack them. The Somali community in Minnesota is the backbone of the state.
Really? We've invested plenty. Billions were stolen. We don't owe the Somalis anything. Now, Tim Walz is under investigation by the Treasury Department and Congress.
They need to focus on the war crimes that are coming up. They need to focus on making life more affordable. They need to focus on the issues they're dealing with. But this is a president in spiral doing nothing to make life cheaper for Minnesotans or Americans.
So Walz lets pirates plunder his booty and he thinks Trump's spiraling?
I think the man's a grossly incompetent
Disgusting.
man. I thought that from the day I watched JD destroy him in the debate. I was saying, who was more incompetent, that man or my man? I had a man and he had a man. There's something wrong with him. Okay, there's something wrong with him.
Democrats in Minnesota are panicking. The money's drying up and their biggest voting bloc's going adios. The pirates donated thousands to the mayor of Minneapolis. And now he's telling ICE to leave the Somalis alone. He also said this.
To our Somali community. Daman Shabka, Somalied Kunul, Minnesota Garahan, Minneapolis, Waan Ku Janila Hai, Waan Ku Gereb Taganahan.
We don't speak Somali, but he probably didn't say, give us the money back. Ilhan Omar also got donations from the scammers. So the Somalis stole money from taxpayers and donated it to Democrats. Huh. And the Democrats never looked into this. Huh. And she's not the only one. Minnesota's AG, Keith Ellison, was supposed to be stopping the fraud, but he was caught on tape talking to the crooks 1 month before the FBI raided their headquarters. They said government agencies were racist, and the attorney general said he'd make a call.
Just getting the question, just getting the inquiry from the AG is sometimes enough to make people knock it off.
And then they started talking cash.
And we are willing to put our money where our mouths are in that sense, helping elected officials that are interested in protecting communities of color specifically.
So Ellison said this meeting isn't about money. But a few weeks later, donations were dropped into his account. And now he's playing the race card.
He wants us pointing fingers at each other while he and his cronies run a scam on America. Weaponizing negative stereotypes and racism against our neighbors is morally wrong.
White people get blamed for stuff their ancestors did hundreds of years ago. But you're not allowed to punish Somalis for ripping us off today? If we're so bad, why is everybody trying to come here? Well, maybe it's because their country's not so great. Ask the Somalis.
I don't want them in our country, I'll be honest with you, okay? Somebody would say, oh, that's not politically correct. I don't care. I don't want them in our country. Their country's no good for a reason. Their country stinks. These aren't people that work. These aren't people that say, let's go, come on, let's make this place great. These are people that do nothing but complain. They complain. And from where they came from, they got nothing. You know, they came from paradise and they said, this isn't paradise. But when they come from hell and they complain and do nothing but bitch, we don't want them in our country. Let them go back to where they came from and fix it.
100%. I agree with him. The thing is, if you don't try to fix your own home, if you don't clean your house, or if you don't take care of your kids and you don't do things, and then you constantly complain that you don't have enough help to do anything because you don't even do it yourself because you want someone else to do it, and then you're not getting enough money. I mean, people that get free stuff and they live off other people do nothing but complain. That's all they do is they complain that they can't get enough. They can't get more. They can't get more. And then people that work their ass off, work 3 jobs or whatever to try to make ends meet, you know, they still try to help other people. That's what I just don't get it. I don't understand how these people keep getting away with just taking and taking and taking and never giving back. Just think about it. If Democrats had to spend their own money to help all this stuff, they wouldn't do it. I mean, it's a fact. They're not going to get rid of their stuff so that you can have something. Okay. But people who have hardly anything will do that all the time. It's all you got to do is look around your own neighborhoods and you can see that. You can know exactly what I'm talking about. But it's really disgusting. I mean, some of the things that are going on. But the thing is, we're finding out the truth. And that's what I was wanting to do this show, is to show you that the truth is coming out everywhere on every level that you can think about. And even today, when you find out that our own supposed GOP didn't even vote to get rid of Obamacare. And give you the money. They want to give you the money so that you can put that money in your bank account and pick and choose what insurance company you want. Instead, they voted to keep giving it to the insurance company. You know, it's just sickening how much these people in office hate us for voting for Trump, for trying to do something for our own country instead of sending billions of dollars to other countries when we have homeless veterans. It's disgusting. It makes me so angry. I wish we could get rid of these people. I really wish we could get rid of these people. But why would any person that works a job and sweats and has to take money out of your check and give it to these people want to take your money and not help people who helped you be free in our own country. They want to take it to another country because, oh, look, it makes us look good to give $800 million to Ukraine again. You know, I just don't understand any of it. I don't even want to anymore. It's so disgusting, all of this stuff. But let's see, I'm trying to find it. Make sure I click on the right thing. Okay, here we go. This is the one. Here's another truth that is coming out. This guy was helping, he's confessing and answering questions that he started rigging elections in 2006 for different companies to help make sure that, and this is in Florida, I'm pretty sure. So it's not just in this state or that, it's in all the states. Anywhere they have these machines, they cheated, believe me, to some degree. If the people that were working at the poll helped, assisted, you see what I mean? So if you had a small area and you had all these people that have been doing the polls for years, and they brought a machine in and someone else came in that was pushing buttons and trying to make changes, and the numbers were way off whack and all this kind of stuff, people who had been doing it in their little area are going to say, how can we only have 10,000 people here, but now we have 45,000 ballots? They didn't do it in places where they knew they probably wouldn't get away with it. They did it with the help of other people that wanted to make sure certain people won and certain people lost. So it all goes hand in hand with each other. And I don't care if it's who it is, anyone that was involved in rigging an election and taking your vote away in your area should be put in jail, period. I don't care who it is. That's a criminal act. It's against our Constitution. Those people, all of these people, once they find out who they are and finish getting all this evidence. But you got to remember, this has been going on for a very long time. Now, I don't know why we even have a, statute of limitations on any crimes. Because I think if a person murders their kid and it takes 25 years to get the bones or the body or the evidence put together because someone's finally looking into it, that they can't arrest someone for murdering someone, or raping someone. How can you have a statute of limitations on rape when the person that was raped is never going to forget about it? You rape a kid, they're going to live their whole life remembering it. So why is there a limitation to anything that attains to that? I think that's another thing that we need to get rid of is the statute of limitations. So I think it's bullshit. But here we go. I'll play this for you.
Mr. Curtis, would you please state your full name for the record?
My name is Clinton Eugene Curtis.
And where do you reside?
Tallahassee, Florida.
And what is your profession?
I'm a computer programmer.
Would you please speak into the microphone so the audience can hear your testimony?
I'm a computer programmer.
Mr. Curtis, are there programs that can be used to secretly fix elections?
Yes.
How do you know that to be the case?
Because in October of 2000, I wrote a prototype for Congressman Tom Feeney at the company I work for in Oviedo, Florida, that did just that.
And when you say did just that, it would rig an election?
It would flip the vote 51-49 to whoever you wanted it to go to and whichever race you wanted to win.
And would that program that you designed be something that elections officials that might be on county boards of elections could detect?
They'd never see it.
Mr. Would you answer that question once again?
They would never see it.
So how would such a program, a secret program that fixes the election, how could it be detected?
You would have to view it either in the source code or you'd have to have a receipt and then count the hard paper against the actual vote total. Other than that, you won't see it.
All right, Mr. Curtis, if you had been asked, you or others with your professional expertise had been asked to design a protective program that would protect the Ohio elections from against such software to fix the election, could you have done so?
If we've been asked to make a program that could fix the election, sure, anybody can do it.
No, could you have designed a program or a procedure or a protocol that would have protected Ohio against this kind of rigging?
No, you have to look at the source code. You have to get probably programmers from both or all parties to look at the source code and determine if there's anything in there that shouldn't be there. I mean, it's a simple program. You're adding 1 to a person's total. It's 100 lines of code tops.
All right. Are you aware of whether there was any protective action in Ohio against this kind of vote rigging through software?
I don't know.
You don't know?
I don't know.
You were not asked to assist in the development of any protective system. Is that correct?
No, I was not.
In Europe, have you reviewed at all the election results in Ohio?
No, I haven't.
Okay. Given the availability of such vote rigging software and the testimony that has been given under oath of substantial statistical anomalies and gross differences between exit polling data and the actual tabulated results, do you have an opinion whether or not the Ohio election, presidential election, was hacked?
Yes, I would say it was. I mean, if you have exit polling data that is significantly off from the vote, then it's probably hacked.
And your testimony is under oath?
Yes, sir.
And the testimony you've given is true?
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Congresswoman Stephanie Caballero. Councilwoman Waters and I have the same question. Back to the podium. Who did you say you were asked to prepare?
I was asked by Tom Feeney. He's now a congressman. At that time, he was Speaker of the House of Florida, Yang Enterprises, which was the company I work for, lobbyist, and their corporate attorney. Wore a lot of hats.
And at the time, he was the Speaker of the House of Florida. Is that what you said?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Congressman.
He's saying he was the lobbyist for the voting machine company at the same time he was Speaker of the House?
I don't know what the voting machine company is. He was a lobbyist for Yang Enterprises. We had NASA contracts.
And Yang Enterprises did what? Computers?
Computers.
Okay, and he was your lobbyist, your company's
The lobbyist for that company, yes.
And he asked you to design a code to rig an election
Yes,
while he was Speaker of the Florida House.
yes,
This was during or previous to the 2000 election?
yes. October into September.
And did he ever express why he wanted a code to rig an election?
No, I immediately assumed that they were trying to keep you guys from cheating them. So, so I wrote up the documentation of what you would look for in the source code, how you would make sure that you didn't get, taken advantage of, make sure that all voting machines had receipts.
You hear what he said? He said he assumed that when he was asked to do these things, it was to keep people from being able to cheat, because if they knew how they could do it, then they could stop them from doing it. But if you have enough people, just like you said, if you have enough people at all these different places that know about it, it can be done. So that's why they didn't do it in every single state, okay? And I think they only did it mostly in the swing states and maybe in different districts where they needed certain people to be in office, like in Arizona, okay, in certain counties and things like that. Because you think about it, you see all the NGOs and all the corruption and all the funneled money that's going to certain places. Well, you'd need someone in office in those areas to make sure that the money goes where they want it to go. So you'd have to have enough people either blackmailed or paid off or whatever else to make sure that when that person gets in that seat, that they own the lobbyists and that they own the people that are surrounding this person to make sure that they can make sure that person gets in office and does what they said they would do when they got him in there by blackmail or whatever it is. Okay, because so just because the machines were rigged to put a certain person in there doesn't mean that every person around the person running for office was involved. It just means that only certain people knew about it, because you can't have every single person know about it. Because just like I said, I've worked the polls. And if I was at a table with my 6 people, each of us with a specific job that we swore an oath with a judge to uphold, right? And we're all there, and I'm watching each person do their job, and I know what their job is. So if I see them do something that is not their job, I'm going to ask them, what are you doing? You see what I mean? Because I am not a cheater. I don't want to see people cheat. I signed up to work the polls to make sure that each person got 1 vote and that their signatures matched, all the different things. And most every person I ever spoke to that worked the polls did the same thing. They did it. They volunteered because they wanted to make sure that everybody got 1 vote and it was fair. And I went and voted early so that I could work on the day of election day, things like that. And, just like me serving jury duty, it's the same thing. I would want, if I was ever arrested and had to have a jury, I would want real people that want to make sure that it's fair, that they look at the evidence and that they weigh the evidence and try to listen to the judge and do what the judge asks them to do. That's what I would want for my jury. And I would want to do that for any person, if I ever get on their jury, to do that for them, because that is how our laws are set up. And you can get a fair trial if you get good people. So all of it goes hand in hand. And if you have lobbyists paying a certain person to do this or that by whatever means, getting them sexual favors or whatever it is, that's illegal. And remember, I think it was Trump, his first term when he was wanting to run, he said he would want to get rid of lobbyists. Why do we need lobbyists? We had voters. The voters voted you in to go do this, that, and the other, whatever it is. So who should you be talking to if you're in office? You should be talking to the people that put you in office. You see what I'm saying? We are the lobbyists. We're the ones that put you there. We're the ones that ask you to fix our schools or fix our roads or whatever it is. And we get you in there, and then now you're listening to somebody else because they got money and they're going to pay you off. See, I think we should get rid of lobbyists. That would really make a big difference. But the fact that this guy testified on how he set that up, even gave the names of the people that helped him do it. So now with all this other evidence coming out, all they got to do is get people like this guy, other people like him, to just look at all this stuff and go through all the coding, go through all the different stuff and tell us, And we have seen it, because when Mike Lindell and others were going before these different courts trying to show how the cheating was obtained in their area, in their county or their district or whatever, there's tons and tons of evidence of it, because I saw tons of videos that were coming out from people's cell phones showing, one guy sitting over at this one table writing on all these ballots, 1, 2, just stacks of them. I'm like, I only wrote on 1 ballot that wasn't my own. And that was because a woman made a mistake on her ballot. And she came back to us at our table where she got the ballot, and we called a judge over. A elected official comes over here, and we tell him, explain to him that she made some mistakes on her ballot and she wanted a new ballot. So what does he do? He writes spoiled on the ballot, and then he initials it. And then each one of us that gave this ballot to this woman initialed our initials on the ballot that said spoiled. Then he put it in an envelope and he seals it, and he wrote spoiled ballot. And then he slid it into the bottom box where all the little receipts would come from each of the ballots. under the box of the ballots that the person after they voted would go in there. So you should have the same amount of receipts under there, the thing you tear off, to match the amount of ballots that are in this tin. So if you have more ballots in this tin than we have receipts, where'd they come from? See, there's so many ways to balance out cheating when it's paper ballots. I don't know how you can balance out the numbers with the way that they do some of these, because I don't know enough about it. We didn't have, we had counters. Now we've seen that before. They had a machine, and if you put money in it, in a machine, it will count the money, right? And then there's another thing where it can count how many pages are in this one document for court. I've seen those. I've seen all kinds of different things like that, but they were page counters. They'd count how many pages you put in there. I've never seen one that you slide them in and it adds everything up like the Dominion stuff. I've not ever been, used any of those. So I can't comment exactly on that. But a professional like this gentleman would be able to come on it. And I'm sure there's thousands and thousands of other people just like that gentleman that could say, this is how you would do it if you wanted to do it. And if I was going to research it and look into it to see if I thought these machines were tampered, that's what I would look at. You see what I mean? So, I would trust these people to look into it, but not one side or the other. It would have to be a group of people from both sides that to get together and then show their evidence of whether it was cheating or it wasn't, and bring it before, a court that isn't corrupt. And that's the hard thing. See, who's going to be the one to go in to make sure that judge is not corrupt, or that judge, you know what I mean? That's the hard part. And when you have so much of it, just like Dan Bongino was saying about when they went in, they were like shocked how many crooked FBI agents there were. They were all, putting stuff in bags to burn it and everything. I mean, all those people should be fired, but you have to go through it. You have to go through all the stuff they've been doing. And then if they did cheat or lie or try to frame someone, we got to go back and find out how many people, were put in prison or went to court and lost, their home or because they didn't have any money or whatever, because they had to go to court against this corrupt FBI agent. It's just so deep. People they're not thinking about the aspect of all of it. That's why it takes a while to clean it up, especially when you have real people looking into it. Just like what you saw with the pipe bomber, okay? They didn't go out and find new evidence against the pipe bomber. They went through all the evidence that was already collected after that bomb was found. And then they collected it. They looked at videos. They did all the different stuff. They had all this stuff in files. And they already had the evidence to see who it was, but they didn't do anything. How could they have not done anything in 4 years? And then Kash Patel's people get in there and it's not even 9 months and they're able to catch the guy with the same evidence they already had collected. That's what I'm trying to say. If we have people that want the job because they want to do the job the way it's supposed to arrest bad people and put them in jail, then you can have that. It's just that we just have to follow the laws that we already have, put people in jail that broke the law, take them to court, make them pay the fines, take the money, get the money back that they wasted. Where did the money go? Get the money back and give it back to whoever they took it from. Just so many things that we already have, but we're just not doing it. We're just not following through. I don't know why, but the only way to find out is to dig down and go back in time, basically through the evidence that we already have, and start finding out who helped all the corrupt people, capture all of them, and then say, okay, we're going to start having some kind of court set up to where we can start prosecuting these people. But I'm telling you, it's so freaking deep. There's so many. We're going to be going to court for years and years and years and years, because there's hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people that are involved in the different layers of corruption, scamming money, or voting, or whatever it is. It's just so much. And then we have the child trafficking, human trafficking, the people who got the people plane tickets, and the people who, I can't even go on, because there's just so much, so many layers of corruption. And you can't get the top guys if you don't get enough people underneath, the evidence leading up to the top, and then prosecuting all the way up. That's how you have to do it. You can't start from the top and then work your way down. You have to have people, and that's how you get whistleblowers. The people that whistleblow are people that were involved at one of the levels, somewhere in there, and they have to have something to back it. And if we have those things, then we're going to start seeing people put in jail for it. And that's what I want. I want to see people go to prison for what they did to us, the taxpayers, because we wanted to believe them. I would like to believe that every person that runs for office, or becomes a police officer, or a surgeon, or a dentist, whatever, wants to do the job because they want to help people. And then when you find out that the dentist is raping his patients while they're unconscious, stuff like that, they got to go to prison. You got to take them out of the system so that it stops. And that's the only way we win, is to stop the corruption in its tracks, and then fix it so it doesn't happen again. Put some kind of stop in there where that kind of stuff can't happen again, where people would notice it, or have more people, overseers, to make sure that each step of the process is being done legally and right. And if we can do that, then we're all going to win. We'll all have better lives, because we've gotten rid of some of the corruption. We'll have more money. We won't have $8 billion or, $500,000 here and $25,000 there. All just taken away from where it should have been, and I don't even know what our lives will be like when we stop the waste. We'll have so many nice roads and so many nice things. We won't even know what to do with it. But, a lot of people say, it's never going to happen. Well, I hope they're wrong. I hope we're all proven wrong for not believing it's going to happen, that something good does happen, and to see people go to jail. People kept saying that P. Diddy wouldn't go to jail. Well, guess what? He didn't get convicted of all the crimes, but he's in jail right now. And while he's in jail, people are suing him left and right for the things that he did do to him. And his life's going to be totally different when he gets out. So it's a start. We got to start somewhere. And that's basically what I want to talk about with that. But the thing is, the truth is coming out. Little by little, it's coming out, and we're starting to see more and more layers, but we're starting to see the evidence come out too. So I'm happy with it. I'm happy that I'm finally starting to see some good stuff. But one of the things that I wanted to share was this, because he makes me sick. I can't stand this guy. Zuckerberg is a skanky pig. He knew that he was suppressing people's posts when they would post certain things when it leaned away that the liberals didn't like. So they would kick you off the platform. They would take away, your right to say anything, to do certain things. And then he testified under oath into the Congress and pretty much, I think, lied his ass off. And for whatever reason, he gets to go to the inauguration. It's like, I was like, you got to be kidding. He just makes me want to throw up. But I wanted to show you this. This was James Woods posted it on X, and I follow James Woods because I really like him. I think he's a good actor, but I think he's a decent person, and he's not afraid to speak his mind about what he believes. And I'm not either. I get in trouble for it, and YouTube doesn't like me very much, but I'm not monetized, so I'm not losing anything. The only thing is I don't want to lose my channel and my voice to be able to say the things that I say and to share some of the things that I believe is important to share. He said, they laugh in our faces because millions of useful idiots on the left can't put 2 and 2 together. I just love him. I just think he's freaking cool as hell because he's not ashamed of what he believes in and trying to share the truth. But what he shared was this post about Mark Zuckerberg, an outspoken critic of man-made climate change, shows off his new $300 million 287-foot mega yacht powered by 4 gigantic diesel engines. Yet this guy will say that you and I, it's carbon from our bones when we die and we deteriorate, that we're corrupting this planet by breathing in and out because we eat cows and we drink cow milk and cows fart. They're ruining the world. They have the balls to say shit like that about us when he goes out and he in the ocean in this ginormous boat for probably him, his wife, and a couple friends to travel from one place to another that cost him $300 million. Yet he's pointing the finger at you, dumbasses, because you have making carbon and ruin our country. But yet all these people worship this guy and use Facebook and use his other things, whatever they are, Threads, and some of the other things. I don't know exactly everything he owns, but he owns a lot. But the thing is, you and I are dweebs. We're nothing. We are a piece of shit on the bottom of his shoe, and he could care less if you're there tomorrow. I mean, really. And look at the smugness of him to have this beautiful yacht that you will never even get near. You'll probably never see it. But yeah, look at that. And he's telling you, it's you are the reason why the world is collapsing in on itself. Not him, not with these giant engines in his one yacht. I'm not even talking about his planes, his cars, and whatever else he wants to, jet skis, whatever else. I don't care if he has this shit. I really don't. It's none of my damn business. I could care less if he goes to sea and never comes back. I could care less. But for the balls of him to tell me that my carbon and the way I live my life, because I drive a pickup truck so that I can haul feed and shit like that, take care of my chickens and my yard and stuff. But he can drive this around in the ocean, and I'm the bad person, and you're the bad person. It's disgusting. I don't know why anyone would give him the time of day. I'm not. I mean, he's a pig. And that's why I wanted to share this, because look at this. He's rubbing it in your face that you're ruining our planet. All while he's in this, and he doesn't think that he's a hypocrite at all. Ugh, just repulsive. He makes me sick. But I just wanted to share that. It's disgusting. And you can look it up. Look him up. Look up Zuckerberg and tell me that he'd give you the time of day. He wouldn't. He's a pig. I can't stand him. Sorry. Oh, it just makes me so angry. But let's see. Here's another thing I thought was interesting. Let me share it. I forgot. I gotta unstop sharing this and share this other one, because this is another good one. Let's see, is it this one? No. no, I always click on the wrong. Here it is. I found this. I thought it was very interesting. The FDA internal memo links child deaths to COVID-19 vaccination. The memo stated that some children died following the vaccination in false cultural and synthetic failures that left early safety signals unexamined for years. Why do you think that happened? Why do you think that they didn't want to make sure the tests went through or any of that stuff? Because they'd lose money. The pharmaceutical companies are making so much money. Every hospital that declared that someone died from COVID, they made money off of it. So even if they were brought in because they were in a motorcycle accident, if they wrote on the document, oh, guess what? They died from COVID. The hospital made money. You know how they'll never find out how much money these hospitals and stuff made off of all the people that didn't die from COVID. More people died from getting the jabs that they were forced to get to keep their jobs than died from COVID. I can't wait till all this evidence comes out. It's disgusting. And I hope that Fauci and all the people that were involved in this bullshit go to prison and have every single penny they have taken away from them to pay some of the victims, because they're not going to be able to pay any of them. I mean, honestly, you can't give someone back their life. You know, you can't give them back what you took from them unless you give them your life. You know what I mean? But you can't. That's impossible. But I want to see every person that was involved in this. Hopefully, I get to see some people get prosecuted for this stuff before I die of old age. I really would love to see that, because that would make me happy. That'd make my heart happy to see these people go to prison, you know, to be punished, and somehow help some of these people that are vaccine injured, and hopefully it bring a little bit of, I don't know, closure to the families that lost members of their family because of this. So it tore up a lot of families because somebody in this family got it and some of them didn't. And then they fought constantly over it. But I can tell you right now, every person I know personally that got jabbed up, they had COVID multiple times. You know, I have allergies, so I'm constantly washing my hands and wiping things down with Clorox wipes, and I use hand sanitizer and stuff like that. Not because I was afraid I was going to get a virus, but because of dust, you know, and other little things that I might get on my skin that would cause me to have, you know, someone's perfume or lotion or whatever they might have on them. I could have something in that I'm allergic to. And then, like me, I don't have celiac disease, but I am very allergic to gluten and anything with gluten in it. And when I eat it, what happens to me is I get really bad rashes. You'll see me scratch a lot, the back of my neck and stuff. Because if I eat 2 pieces of bread, if that's one sandwich, or 2 pieces of toast in the morning, I itch all day long. Okay. And if I eat more than that, I get horrible, horrible rashes that sometimes bleed because the skin cracks, and it's terrible. And it took years for me to find out what it was, because, you know, no one thought it could be gluten because I don't have stomach issues from it. Most everyone has celiac disease, you know, and it causes really bad, horrible stomach issues, intestinal issues. I didn't have that. So how many other people are like me that are having all these problems? Is it, you know, what do we do different in our country to make our wheat so bad when other people in other countries don't have that problem at all, because they don't put all this shit, insecticides and whatever else that they put on the wheat in our country? So the only way to find out these things is to have real good doctors and nurses and scientists working on it, because they want truth. You know, they want to find what helps, what doesn't, all those things. That's by studies, right? But by faking studies to get what you want so you can make more money, that's corruption. Just like what we're seeing with all the Somalias people in Minnesota. All the stuff we've seen with a lot of that corruption in the state of Minnesota and Dearborn, Michigan, and some of the other places where they were being overcompensated for all the illegal people that they were bringing in for dirt cheap labor. And they're all going to be hurting when more and more of these people are gathered up and sent away, and we had the borders locked down. Someone else is going to fill those voids. I'm already seeing tons of truck driver jobs opening up in other different countries, restaurant jobs, construction jobs, all more and more and more opening up, all because you don't drive up in front of Lowe's to get something and see 25 people sitting out front waiting for a job. I don't see that anymore, which is great because I don't want illegal people. A person who walks over the border knowing they are not a citizen and they don't apply for paperwork or anything like that, they know they're breaking the law. That's illegal. You can't do it to any other country. I'd like to see any of you guys out there go into another country and don't have passport, don't have any paperwork, and tell me later, make a video and send it, put it out and say, this is how I was treated in Mexico or in Venezuela or in Canada or in England, wherever you go. Just make a video and have no paperwork. Let's see how you get treated compared to how you get treated here, where you just hand you everything for free. Free place to live, a free phone, free food, free medical, all in the paid for by people like me that work and pay taxes. Yeah, great country. But they want to come here and make our country the country they left, which I don't agree with. Just like if you leave California and go to Texas, don't make Texas California. You're already doing it. I can see because all the cities are blue. You guys are tearing these states apart. And once we lose Texas or Florida, I don't know what's going to happen. It's scary. But I'm going to share this link. Let me get it real quick. I'm going to share this in the chat real quick because this has got some really good information down through this whole thing. And there's a couple of other links. And there's this. This is what I was going to play, but I'm going to play that, and then I'm going to share this in the chat for you guys.
FDA internal memo links child deaths to COVID-19 vaccination. An internal Food and Drug Administration memo obtained by the Epoch Times reveals that career scientists in the agency's vaccine safety offices have identified no fewer than 10 child deaths they consider related to COVID-19 vaccination. The November 28th memo, written by Dr. Vinay Prasad, director of the FDA Center for Biologics Evaluation and Research, marks what Prasad calls the first acknowledgement inside the agency that the vaccines have caused fatal harm in children. It details findings from a review conducted by staff in the Office of Biostatistics and Pharmacovigilance, which examined 96 death reports voluntarily submitted to the Vaccine Adverse Event Reporting System between 2021 and 2024 and concluded that at least 10 met criteria for a likely, probable, or possible causal link to COVID-19 vaccination. According to the memo, the true number of vaccine-related child deaths is certainly an underestimate because VIRS relies on passive voluntary reporting and because analysts used conservative coding that tended to rule out the vaccine when ambiguity existed. A senior FDA official confirmed to the Epoch Times that Prasad sent the memo to all CBER staff and that the investigation was initiated earlier this year. Delayed acknowledgement and early internal warnings. Prasad wrote that the findings forced the agency and the nation to confront whether federal COVID-19 vaccine campaigns may have harmed more children than we saved. And he criticized the FDA for allegedly failing to thoroughly investigate pediatric deaths earlier. The memo states that CBER's leadership only initiated the internal review in 2025 after staff physician Dr. Tracy Beth Hogue independently examined death reports and concluded children had indeed died after vaccination, an assessment that had never been publicly admitted by the FDA. This is a profound revelation. For the first time, the US FDA will acknowledge that COVID-19 vaccines have killed American children. Prasad wrote, "Healthy young children who faced tremendously low risk of death were coerced, at the behest of the Biden administration, via school and work mandates, to receive a vaccine that could result in death. In many cases, such mandates were harmful. Prasad attributed the delayed recognition of pediatric vaccine fatalities to cultural and systemic failures inside CBER, suggesting that some safety concerns were dismissed due to internal resistance, politics, or pressure to support mass vaccination. I have no doubt that many vaccines have saved millions of lives globally, and many have benefits that far exceed risks. But vaccines are like any other medical product, he wrote. The right drug given to the right patient at the right time is great, but the same drug can be inappropriately given, causing harm. The same is true for vaccines. The memo also states that the FDA never required manufacturers to demonstrate, through randomized controlled trials, that vaccinating children reduced hospitalization or death. Available data, Prasad wrote, are deeply limited, rely on methods with notorious biases, and fail to establish whether the vaccine saved more children than it harmed. He criticized common assertions that COVID-19 infection posed a greater myocarditis risk than vaccination, saying that this claim is wrong and that existing studies use a false denominator and fail to evaluate risk-benefit trade-offs for healthy adolescents and young adults. Regulatory shifts ahead. Prasad said CBER will undertake major reforms, including swift action on the new safety signal involving child deaths and ending authorization of vaccines in pregnant women based solely on unproven surrogate antibody endpoints. There will also be a requirement for pre-market randomized clinical trials for most new vaccines, updated guidelines for simultaneous administration of multiple vaccines, and an overhaul of the annual flu vaccine framework, described as a catastrophe of low-quality evidence, poor surrogate assays, and uncertain vaccine effectiveness measured in case control studies with poor methods. Prasad said that vaccine regulation will now be guided by strict evidence-based medicine and that COVID-19 vaccines will no longer receive preferential assumptions of benefit. Vaccines will be treated like all other medication classes, no better or worse, he wrote. He instructed CBER staff who disagreed with the new direction to submit their resignations. The Epoch Times has contacted the FDA and the Department of Health and Human Services with a request for comment.
Wow, it's really interesting. I shared the link in the chat for anyone who wants to actually go there yourself and check this out. But the thing is, it's going to take a while. When you have this many people, this many corrupt people, all making money off of something like this by forcing people. I mean, I knew it was corrupt really, really early in when they exempt the post office people, but they forced our military to take it. I was like, there's something fucked up with that. They didn't make Congress have to take it. But if you had a job at Firestone or Tyson or some of these other places, guess what? You were threatened. You were going to have a job if you didn't get it. It's sickening, the fact that they force people. And I lost so much work because in the movie industry, where you do commercials or you do, any of that kind of stuff, if you didn't have your little card so that you're jabbed up, they'd say, sorry, we don't need you to be a stand-in. We're going to get someone else. And now I'm getting lots of stuff. I'm getting invites to do a lot of different things now, but I still don't have a card, and I wouldn't do it again. I would rather, work in a chicken house or whatever I have to. I'd do anything to make a few dollars, so I'd have the money that I needed before I would be told that I would be forced to have to get something against my will. And I was so thankful that I had such a good doctor, because my doctor, which is not I'm talking about my allergy doctor. I asked him about it. I said, well, what's in it? And he goes, I don't know. He goes, so I'm not recommending any of my patients get it. But one of the other allergy doctors was recommending everyone get it. And he do that. And he said, I don't know. I just can't get my patients to do it, because he showed me some paper that was blank, had nothing on it. So he's like, how can I ask you to inject something in your body when I don't know what it is. And I'm just thankful. That's all I can tell you. I'm very happy that I said, no, I'm going to wait and see, because I'm healthy and I wasn't sick. I didn't have a fever. And then it was funny is I remember the first time I went to the doctor, I don't remember why I went. It was for something. I think it was when I cut my finger working in my yard and I needed 4 stitches. And I remember going in there, I had to wear a mask, and I was standing there with my hand up above my head, wrapped up, holding it. And they put a thing on me to check my temperature. And I said, all you have to do is take Tylenol and your temperature goes down. Anyone could think that. So how is doing that process going to help? Keep sick people from coming in. I mean, to me, I said that when I saw the first place I went, I think it was a convenience store, or it was a little corner market or whatever. And guess what? They had sanitizer out there, and they had every person had to put it on their hands before they could go in. And I said, that makes a difference. Because if your hands are clean and you wipe your cart, stuff, you're not touching other people's stuff. But you got to remember, when you went to the store and you're shopping with your clean hands or your gloves or whatever, and you're on your phone, typing away, and then you're touching your cheek or you're touching your hair or whatever else, you're just spreading it. So, all of it was just ridiculous. So I don't know. I won't fall for any of that shit. And I think I wore a mask twice to 2 different places, and that's it. If they made me wear a mask, I didn't go. I have a hard enough time trying to breathe anyways, just because I'm most of the time stuffed up, not because I'm sick, but because I'm allergic so much. And when I saw people wearing masks and they're all gloved up, but their eyes aren't covered, I'm like, you've got blood vessels in your eyes. So you're not wearing the right kind of mask. And if you're wearing a shield that goes up, that's not good either, because it flies through the air. And the mask box, if you read it, says will not prevent viruses, because viruses go right through that giant woven mask that you're wearing. It was just pitiful that so many people panicked. And I still see people driving in their car by themselves with a mask on. So, I think some people are never going to recover from it. The fear of thinking they're going to die from COVID. And I knew a lot of people that were in nursing homes that didn't die. You know why? Because they had good people that worked in the nursing home and they cleaned. They mopped, they wiped down the handles on the doors, and they washed their hands before they touched their patients, that kind of stuff, important stuff. That we learned, hundreds of years ago, like washing your hands and stuff like that is a huge thing when you don't want to make other people sick. Coughing on someone. If you know you're sick, don't go. If you think you're coming down with a cold, why would you want to go to a hospital and go into the nursery, or use common sense and say, I'm not going to go to the nursing home today because I think I might be coming down with something. What happened to that? What happened to common sense during this whole thing? It just went doo-doo. See you later. I don't know. It drives me nuts. But I hope that helped a little bit for some people. But some good stuff is coming. And we just have to be patient. And hopefully by this time next year, we'll have people that are going to court. That people are getting arrested left and right. I hope. I really do pray for that. But I don't know. You just have to wait and see. But I just want to say thank you to everyone who hung out with me for a little bit. It went longer than I wanted, but I couldn't help it. I can't. I talked my head off. I can't help it. I so much want people to see the truth. And, I know everyone doesn't believe the same way I do, but at least look into stuff, read, watch videos, research as much as you can before you make a huge, mess of something in your life simply because somebody down the road told you to do it. You know what I mean? I mean, if you're going to get a car, do you just go into the parking lot and pick the first car and get in and say, okay, let's buy it and leave? No. You look at lots of different cars. You compare the prices, what you're getting for your money. Same thing when you're trying to find a place to live or a house that you want to buy, or if you're going to buy a wedding ring for each other, something you're going to wear on your finger for the rest of your life. You know, you don't just get the first one that someone points at. You look around, you research. You should do that with everything that's important that affects your life. And the fact that people don't, I'm shocked by it. People used to be pickier about their lives, about who they wanted to spend the rest of their life with. Now you just go swipe left, swipe right. Who cares? You're just gonna have sex with whoever. It's pitiful. The state that we've put our families and relatives in by just not caring. You know, not caring who you're with or where you go, or I don't know. I just don't understand it. I guess maybe I'm just old-fashioned like my grandmother. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what it is. I just wish people loved themselves more and cared enough to say, you know, I'm not going to eat that because I know it makes me sick, or I'm not going to do those drugs or stick stuff like that in my veins because I know it's not good for me. It's not natural, you know, but you know, I don't know how to get people to stuff and not want that for your kids. You know, I don't know. But I'm sorry, I went on another rant. But hope you guys have a great rest of your evening, and hopefully this weekend will be really good. That's what I'm hoping for. One of the things I'm hoping for. But I'm hoping that some good stuff's going to start coming out. We're going to start seeing more facts, but we're actually going to start seeing people turncoat. And that's what you're seeing. You're hearing about a lot of whistleblowers in lots of different areas. And we're going to start seeing results from that, I hope. But I just want to say thank you again. And you guys have a wonderful, wonderful evening. Thank you. Merry Christmas to you. It's coming really quick, isn't it? So talk to you guys later.
Okay, so I came to Walmart today just to see if this was real. You see this? Do you see this big box of like cookie things? These? And it says product of India. Product of India right there. I don't think you're ready for this. I don't think you're ready for this.
Puedes ir por las tuyas a tu tienda favorita. Ross, Burlington, Target, Safeway, entre otras.
Okay, so I came to